Welcome to the Haunted Hour. Today, I am going to share a story that happened to me and my friends. We had planned the trip months in advance. A reunion getaway to Lonavala, away from the city's noise. The five of us, me, Rohan, Priya, Neha, and Samir, booked an old villa perched on the edge of a hill, surrounded by thick trees and clouds that rolled in like ghosts. It was charming online, but when we reached, something felt off. The caretaker, a hunched man with a lazy eye, handed us the rusted key and warned us not to go near the third floor. We laughed, assuming it was just folklore or an old superstition. The villa groaned with age, windows moaning even in still air, and floorboards creaked like whispers underfoot. A strange dampness clung to everything, even though it hadn't rained. The power flickered the moment we stepped inside, just for a second, but long enough to see a shadow rush across the hallway. We paused, looked at each other, and then laughed it off. But somewhere deep in my gut, I knew we shouldn't have come here. That night, the house began to breathe. We unpacked, settled in, and sat in the drawing room with warm tea, watching mist flood the forest. Samir played eerie tunes on a Bluetooth speaker, the sounds echoing weirdly in the long corridors. Priya wandered off to explore, curious about the villa's architecture, while Rohan followed with his phone flashlight. When they came back, they were pale and quiet. Priya said she had found a locked door on the third floor, and behind it, she heard scratching. Not rats. Something slower, heavier, deliberate. Neha insisted it was probably just animals, maybe monkeys, but her voice trembled. Later that evening, we found old portraits on the wall, their eyes seeming to follow you wherever you moved. One had a woman with a torn mouth, literally scratched off the painting, red marks smeared under like dried blood. The caretaker was long gone. No signal, no internet, no way out until morning. At 1:13 a.m., I woke up gasping. The air was too heavy to breathe. My window was wide open, though I'd shut it. Cold air coiled into the room, and I heard whispering. It wasn't outside. It was inside the walls. I grabbed my phone, its screen frozen on the camera app, and in the black mirror of the screen, I saw a woman behind me. Pale, crooked neck, hollow eyes. I turned instantly, no one, but a black, oily handprint was on the wall. I ran to wake the others. Samir had barricaded his door and was sobbing, eyes wide like he'd seen death itself. He said someone had crawled from under his bed and whispered, "Don't look under ever again." And he didn't. Rohan was missing. We searched the entire villa in a panic. Every room was empty, but his backpack was still on the bed. His shoes were there, one of them wet. We found a trail of muddy footprints going toward the third floor, though we never saw him leave. Priya shouted, "Rohan, are you there?" And from upstairs, something mimicked her voice perfectly. "Rohan, are you there?" But it was off, too slow, like a recording played backwards. We all backed away from the stairs, heartbeats pounding. The lights flickered again, and this time, we heard a door creak open upstairs. Then a dragging sound. We bolted the staircase door shut, heart racing, and locked ourselves in the living room. We decided to wait until sunrise, but sleep was impossible. The chandelier above us started to sway on its own. A whisper began, first soft, then rising as if hundreds of people were murmuring at once, just behind the walls. Priya screamed as something cold grabbed her ankle and tried to pull her toward the hallway. Neha and I held on, pulling her back. And in that moment, I swear I saw something black like a melted man, with no face, crawling across the ceiling. It vanished when I blinked. Samir had started chanting some prayer his grandmother taught him, shaking uncontrollably. The fireplace roared to life suddenly, a face appearing in the flames for just a second. Rohan's, burnt, screaming, and then gone. The villa was alive. We decided to escape, even if it was dark. We took the keys and ran to the front door, but it wouldn't open. It wasn't jammed, it was missing. The entire wooden frame was now a wall, as if the house had sealed us in. Samir began pounding the walls, shouting for help. But the walls echoed our screams back in different voices. Voices that didn't belong to us. The windows showed only thick fog. No way to know what was beyond. Suddenly, we heard footsteps from the hallway. Measured. Slow. Like someone wearing chains. We hid behind the sofa, clutching each other, breath shallow. Then we saw it, a tall figure, dressed in white but soaked in black stains, head twisted fully around, smiling. That night stretched endlessly. Time felt broken. I don't even remember how I fell asleep or passed out. But when I opened my eyes, it was dawn. Silence. The villa looked normal. Sunlight poured in. Samir, Priya, and Neha were still with me, but Rohan was gone. We packed everything in record time, rushed out. The front door now mysteriously back. Outside, the caretaker was standing still at the gate, looking at us with blank eyes. We told him about Rohan. He only said, "The house chooses." We drove away, hearts thudding, heads spinning. Behind us, the villa stood silently, its windows gleaming like eyes. We reported Rohan missing, but no trace was ever found. The villa's ownership, untraceable. The caretaker, gone the next day when police came. The address didn't show up again on the internet. Every photo we took at the villa was corrupted, glitched with static or filled with blurred faces. One had all 5 of us, including Rohan, but behind us stood a 6-figure, cloaked in black, smiling. Our dreams haven't been the same. Sometimes I hear knocking on my window at 1:13 a.m. I never open it. I never look under the bed, because deep down I know the villa never lets go. It's still inside us. Weeks later, I found something strange in my luggage. A photo of the woman from the scratch painting. On the back, written in red ink, "I saw you watching." Samir went missing last month. No signs of forced entry. Just a broken window and black handprints on the walls. Neha started talking in a different voice during a call, and then her line went dead. Priya stopped answering altogether. I hear humming in the corners of my apartment at night. I've moved 3 times. The humming follows. I think we brought something back with us. Maybe we never left. Sometimes I wake up with mud on my feet. There are gaps in my memory. Hours I don't remember living. When I look in the mirror, I sometimes see someone else blink a second too late. I've tried burning the painting. It won't burn. It bleeds. I've tried forgetting, but the dreams won't stop. I'm trapped in that villa every night, climbing stairs I never reach the top of, The third floor door is always open now, and every time, Rohan is standing there, crying blood, reaching, smiling, calling my name, and I know one day I'll go back. Not by choice, but because it wants me to. Until then, I leave you this warning. Never go to the villa in Lonavala. If the house calls, do not answer. If you hear your name in your own voice from another room, don't go in. If something crawls out from under your bed and just watches, pretend to sleep. Never speak to the caretaker. Don't take anything from the villa, especially not the painting. And whatever you do, if you hear scratching behind the third floor door, do not open it, because the house remembers, and it always takes back what's its own. If you like the story, please like and subscribe to us to show your support. Meet you on the other side.